Hello everyone, my name's Asim and I'm here to talk to you about the costs to expect when purchasing a property through the auctions. The main cost of purchasing any property in the UK is stamp duty. The stamp duty is the government's tax on purchasing a property in the UK, and that ranges depending on how much you are spending at the time you are purchasing the property. Other costs are there, such as legal costs that you will pay for yourself, and in most cases you will also take up the legal costs of the person selling the property through the auction process. Other fees to expect are the auction fees itself. So generally when you are purchasing at auction, expect to be the one that is paying for all the fees. You're paying the auction fees for yourself, the seller, the seller's legal fees, and your legal fees. Many times when you are trying to finance a property through bridging loans, the bridging loan company may suggest to you that they will require a survey done on the property before they can finance the transaction. That is quite normal and expected, and that can range from around £500 to £1,000. Generally speaking, it's also good for you because that report will tell you, once the house is refurbished to a decent standard, what the house should be able to achieve on the market if you were to sell or refinance. You should also expect other costs such as your solicitor, your broker's fees, and also expect that you would need to insure the property from the day you exchange contracts. This is very important. If you do not have insurance in place for the property, no lender will be willing to finance the transaction. The insurance is there to provide them, if the worst was to happen, they would be able to recover the money they have lent you on this property through that process. Stamp duty is a major cost when you are purchasing a property. There are ways where if a property is in really bad shape, there are guidelines where stamp duty may even be exempt. So in terms of if the property is really bad, it does not mean that it's exempt. There are certain guidelines and criteria that property would need to meet for it to be exempt from stamp duty. Generally, this should be checked by a professional because you do not want problems later on down the line where you have purchased a property and not paid the stamp duty, as you could get in trouble for this if you haven't checked this out and be liable to make that payment later on down the line. So just to be clear, please make sure you do get it checked out by a professional whether you are eligible for stamp duty relief on a particular property. But in general terms, purchasing at auction at a lower price than market value is a brilliant way on saving on stamp duty. A difference of £100,000 in valuation from when you purchased and from when you refinance, or in terms of what you would have paid for that property if it was bought through the mainstream way of purchasing, could mean a lot of money in savings just in the stamp duty. So where you will pay more fees in the auction, you should still be saving a lot of money by purchasing that way. Typically, fees do vary for auctions from different auction houses, but generally you'd find all that information in the legal pack. The legal packs are really good and have a lot of information. You should have your solicitor check this for you if you are new to legal packs, but they will generally charge you for this, as solicitors always charge for their time. Another fee to take into aspect is, generally, if you are purchasing through a limited company like myself, this does help you with saving money on taxes later on down the line, but it does incur more fees. Generally speaking, the solicitor will charge you more as he's registering the property not to a personal name but to a limited company. So the fees the solicitor will charge you will vary on whether you are purchasing in your own name or in a limited company. Also, the other fees surrounding that would be what your accountant would charge you to manage that portfolio. In general, for every property you add, an accountant would normally charge you more, as there is more work required when they do your annual statements and your tax preparations. Although there are a lot of fees to look out for when you are purchasing an auction and there are more costs involved, for me, I have found it's still a much more manageable and financially better way of purchasing property. If you want more help with this, if you click on the link in my description, you can book in a call with me and I'll be able to go through this in more detail for you. Maybe if you have a particular property in mind, I'll be able to discuss with you and help you on how to best handle the situation. Many thanks for watching my video. Follow and subscribe.